And to point out, you
Hmm.
definitely entry point into health optimization isn't that kind of budget, right? You guys
Yeah,
over there, you are
right.
setting something up
Oh,
completely big facility, lots of square foot,
very. Yeah,
right?
I think the
You
one, yeah, the Franklin facility that we had was 13,000 square feet. It would, the massive facility. So having to try to basically understand, I mean, and again, and you have a lot of people in the room. You have, 6, 8, 10 really
a
smart
lot of
individuals
ideas.
that are throwing money into this, right? They all, they all want things a certain way. And then you have to basically kind of just just gently lead them back back to like, how do we actually make this all work? Well, that ecosystem is going to be dependent upon creating an assessment. And so not to be long-winded with it, but I think that's really important, but it's also super helpful. So a lot of these practices will already have a majority of this stuff in place, right? So it's like, find out where there are gaps, find out if there's any gaps in what you currently have, what you currently offer, and then if there is,
Yeah,
how do
that's
you
good.
fill that? Well, go back to the beginning and let's figure out if you're assessing that individual appropriately. Are there some things in that assessment that you're not taking care of? If that's the case, then how do you take care of that? And then you can decide, hey, I need to buy a bunch of this stuff, right? But chances are, if you have a majority of that already, then start there. Start with that, and then work forward from there. And then that's how you can generate your outcomes, right? And that's how you can, the longer that you can retain that patient or that client, that's how you build that lifetime patient. That's how you build that value. That's how you build that potential referral source, right? Is you have to establish that relationship. So it's not just transactional, right? So you're basically, you're creating a partnership. You're creating that relationship together.
Right. So what I'm hearing, multiple touch points with a patient, great patient outcome. There has to be a purpose and reason why this person comes back, and it's not just once a year. Right? It's not even just once every 6 months.
100%,
Right? We
100%.
want to see them
Reassessment is
on a
vital. Yeah,
yeah.
100%. And your reassessments will really help with that as well. And every time you reassess that patient or that client, you can utilize a lot of the same things that you used for that initial assessment, right? You don't have to do a DEXA, every day, but you do a DEXA when they first come in. You utilize like a perfect example of that is the scale that you offer, like through DEXA, right? They can kind of see, and it's not going to give you the accuracy of the DEXA, but what it's going to do is going to allow you to see trends. Where is that client trending? Where's that patient trending? And so then you reassess periodically. Even if you're doing it, quarterly, if you're doing it twice a year, you're still drawing that patient or that client back in to see where they are. Everybody wants to know where they are. And then that sets up your system. And then when they do come in and they do really well on that point, that's when you you basically review that with them, right? You remind them of why they initially came in. You remind them of where they were at that point, and then where they are now. And so that's what creates that relationship.
Yep. Yeah, real solid point. And the essence then, as these programs develop for a destination, there's multiple components to it, but we can put it into a nice triangle. You have your data, your metabolic data, blood work. There's the assessment stage has to be measurable, has to be precise, it has to be repeatable. You have your program. Your program is built and scaled off of the information that you get from your initial data. So you build out your program, nutrition, exercise, HRT, peptides, whatever that journey might look like for that individual patient. Then there's support mechanism that helps keep that program going, which would be recovery, therapeutic, right? Now, from that side of it, the recovery keeps the program going, keeps enabling the person. The program feeds the data, which you had mentioned, right? The repeatability of it. We want to test every quarter, and it's just a kind of this pendulum motion that goes back and forth through these categories.